2 weeks ago, we talked about the IPL. We talked about players maybe not playing in it. It has been postponed. Whether it should be cancelled or not, that's up for debate. But a lot has happened in the last 2 weeks, hasn't it?
It has indeed, BJ. It took a pandemic to bring the IPL down. This is a juggernaut that's going to rule cricket for the next 20 or 30 years. It's 2 months now. It'll be 3 months in a couple of years. COVID has reduced it, but it won't snuff it out.
Well, exactly right. Let's have a chat to Michael Vaughan. Vaughany, great to see you nice and early in the morning over there in the UK. Thanks for joining us. Were you surprised the IPL being postponed, or maybe even it be cancelled?
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. I think they've made the right decision. I mean, in hindsight, you could argue that they could have been more proactive a few weeks before and maybe potentially try to move it during this term to the UAE. I don't know logistically if that would have been possible, but that would have been a proactive approach. They'll certainly play it. They'll play it down the line, maybe September after the Indian series over here in England. It's just where they're going to play it. Will they play it in the UAE? Will they try and play it in England? I know that Kevin Peterson spoke out the other day saying that it would be a good place to play. India would be here. England players obviously here. Quite a lot of overseas players playing county cricket here. We have the venues here in England to play the IPL if they want to try and fit it in around September. But Ashley Giles, the director of English cricket yesterday, said no England players potentially will be available because England have future tours program schedule. I think they go to Bangladesh and Pakistan for some C20s. And I think that's going to be the problem. Wherever they fit it in, it's going to really muddle up the future tours program, and players will potentially have that kind of question that they'll get answered. Are you going to play for your country? Are you going to play for your IPL franchise? It's going to be a difficult one.
Oh, there's no doubt scheduling is always a bit of an issue when you're trying to work out cricket. Let's bring in Brad Haddin all the way from the Maldives. He looks pretty happy over there. I know you want to be playing cricket, Hads, but are you surprised the IPL has been postponed, or were you guys expecting it?
Hey, good evening, everyone. No, I'm not surprised. For the first part of the IPL, everyone felt really safe with what was going on around the country. We got glimpses of that on television, but it was a really interesting time because the streets were shut. There was no one at the ground. So with the bio bubbles, we felt really safe. It was only when there was multiple cases breached the inside the bubble that things turned really, really quickly and everyone had to get out and now we're in the Maldives. So we didn't feel unsafe till they got inside the breaching bubbles.
Hads, can you confirm or deny that when the Chinese rocket landed, you were out kite skiing and you just missed you?
How are you, Skull? I just want to ask, is this going to take long tonight? I've got my scuba diving.
We'll get there quickly.
No, how's quarantine going, Hads? All right.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear that. Some of the boys did. They were still up and they heard a bang. But, lucky enough, we dodged that one, Skull.
Hads, Vaughan here in the UK. We've just been released, so we're allowed to go to bars. We're allowed to, from next Monday, go in a pub and eat indoors as well. You're quarantining in the Maldives. Can you just give us your day-to-day kind of routine? What happens over there?
Yeah. Evening, Vaughan. Good question. No, we're lucky enough. We're not in a bubble at all. We're allowed to get around. A lot of the guys that are out snorkeling, spearfishing, enjoying their island. We're the only group on the island, apart from about 5 other people. So yeah, the day looks get up and have a nice breakfast and a coffee, catch up with everyone, and then plan what event you want to do throughout the day.
Mate, I don't want to hear any more of that. Now, is it going to happen again? Do you think the IPL will continue? Will they want to play it again, or is it done and dusted till next year?
I think logistically a lot's got to go on, but I think 100% it'll go ahead. I think it'll go in the window before the World Cup. To me, makes sense. I know there's a lot of countries with future tour programs, but I think the World Cup's going to look a little bit different anyway. I think you'll have to have bigger squads because of bubbles and quarantine restrictions on teams if you get injured. So to have half of your squads playing in the IPL leading up to the World Cup anyway, I think that'll be not a bad preparation for your elite players, and the rest of your squad can be still playing games and getting some cricket in before that. So I think with the money involved, there's no way it won't go ahead.
Hads, life's so cruel, isn't it? Your club, Sunrisers Hyderabad, were running last. You're in the Maldives drinking mocktails. Mike Hussey is in a hospital. He was a Chennai Super King. They were leading the table. I mean, come on. Spare a thought for us.
Everyone's equal now, Skull. The tournament's been called off, so we can't we can't go back to the table. But our thoughts are with Hussey's. We've been in contact with him daily, and he's going okay. We just need a couple of negative tests and allow him to get home. So, yeah, that's the scary part of all this. You don't want to see someone locked away in a foreign country with what's going on. So Huss is pretty content at the moment. He feels okay. So we just need a couple of negative tests so he can come back home.
And Hans, just seriously, just for 1 second, I mean, how that period when you were over in India and your government had said that potentially you won't be able to fly back to Sydney, what was it like for the group of players?
Yeah, that was uncomfortable. We'd got given permission from the government to go overseas to India to work, and once the announcement came that we weren't allowed to travel, there was a lot of anxiety around a lot of Australians actually there about what was going to happen, what was this going to look like. And then once it got inside the bubble and it looked like we had to get out and there was nowhere for us to go, there was some really a nervous couple of days to know exactly where we're going to be. We were going to be stuck in India with no bubbles. We were going to be allowed to get out to where we are now. So, yeah, there's a lot of nervousness around for quite a few days after the announcement came.
It's just on David Warner. He lost the captaincy of Sunrisers Hyderabad. He's been such a key member of that team. How's he taking it?
Yeah, Scully, he took it with class. It was a bit of a shock to everyone. Management decided to go in a different direction to try to spark something in the team. We weren't playing the standard we needed to, but with Davey, the way he handled it was all class. He just got back on with the job. I dare say he would have come back into contention in the next few games. He's one of the best in the world at that form of the game. But you only have to look at the way he reacted when he came onto the bench. He was around everyone. He's running the drinks out. He's a really vocal still in the meetings. So he handled it with a lot of class in a difficult situation.